Y'all know who it is, man. It's Troll with Street News. Keeping my ears to the street to bring y'all the latest news raw and uncut. And today I just heard some bad news about DMX. I heard he just had a heart attack. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell down below. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video. Without further ado, man, let's get it. Well, yesterday, TMZ reported that DMX had a heart attack. Well, the spokesperson for DMX said he was having chest pains, so they took him to the emergency room. When you have a heart attack, they try to restore some of the blood flow back to part of the heart that might have muscle damage from the heart attack. Yeah, and sometimes the doctor can give you that thrombolysis balloon or something like that, I think it's called. Then on top of that, they'll probably give you some type of drug to dissolve the blood clots, like heparin or something else. They also can do that cardiac catheterization where they put the tube through your vein on your wrist, your blood vessel on your wrist. They thread it to your heart to open up the arteries. And that's because the brain gets swelling during a heart attack. Because if the brain don't get no blood flow, that means the brain don't get no oxygen, so the brain can't survive. And that can damage your brain tissues. That's why they put you in a induced coma so your brain can rest. When people's on life support, they probably hit them with that defibrillator. You know what I'm talking about? That thing that be shocking people back to life. Probably because he died and had to bring him back. I'm not saying this is exactly what happened in his case, but I'm just saying it happens in most cases. And then on top of that, people who have heart attacks, man, they only got like a 50% survival rate. A lot of people don't make it. And the doctor probably put stents in his heart and had a tube down his throat for food. And they probably had him on a ventilator so he could breathe. I bet they had him on that until they felt comfortable enough to take him off. But they said all 15 of his kids flew up here to B-bomb because it's not looking good for DMX. And I just pray he be fine because I know God ain't finished working on him. You can tell he's the chosen one just by the type of music he put out his whole career. I hope the doctors didn't take him off life support too soon. DMX is a fighter. You can tell he been fighting his whole life. I just pray he don't let a heart attack take him out. But when it's your time, it's your time. So, you know, it is what it is. But we still send prayers and hopefully everything will be all right. And you can tell just by his music and by how his demeanor is that he's a genuine person. So it don't matter if he do drugs or do this and that happened because of that. That's not even part of the issue. I ain't no doctor or none of that, so don't take my word on none of this. But I'm just saying, like, them are like pretty much basic things. I just want everybody to pray for him and his family that he pulls through and that they can get through the day and make sure everything okay with him. And you know what they say, there's power in the tongue. So if everybody pray, man, he might pull through. And hopefully he will. So just give it a shot. It's not going to hurt you to take a couple seconds out of your day to pray for him and family. But anyway, like I was saying about the heart. But I'm saying I know what I'm talking about. But regardless of all that, you should still fact check me to make sure it's true. Just take a look how his whole career, he praised God in all of his songs. We all know it ain't DMX time yet because God still got work to do on him. It felt like he was a prophet. And his lawyer even said, like, he's a great poet. And if people would have just listened, they would get through a lot of things that they're going through in their life. And that's real talk. They would. Before I get back to saying what I was about to say, I got to touch on something real quick. Man, I hate when the media always got to say something bad about someone. They can never, ever say something good. They're going to say that DMX, okay, the reason he had a heart attack because of drug use. Like, come on, like, you couldn't just say he had a heart attack. Y'all had to put it to drug use because you wanted to diminish someone's character. Come on. And they said it about Demi Lovato. That was only because everybody already knew what happened and she OD'd. They were just trying to do PR because they don't want the girl that used to play on Disney to mess up her image. Someone tell me when it became okay for people to talk about someone's personal life. I know he's famous, but there's a certain line you just shouldn't cross. It doesn't matter what caused a heart attack. Only thing that matters is that he had a heart attack and we hope he okay. Come on, like, it's crazy. And it's so crazy because DMX always kept it real. He didn't care who you was. He wasn't about to change for no one. Most bloggers in the media don't have no limitations, no boundaries. And you know when you're comfortable in your skin, like, no one can do or say anything that's going to bother you. He's for sure one of our legends, you know what I mean? And the story ain't up yet, so you know he going to be back because he here for a real reason. Whenever he passed, you know he's gonna be up there with Jam Master Jay, Biggie, and Pop. I was in the hospital one time, and the nurse was telling me that dude came in with a heart attack, and they had to freeze him to slow down his heart rate so they could save him. I mean, it seemed weird to me. Like, I ain't never heard that in my life, but I think I misunderstood her, to be honest. I think she was talking about nitroglycerin that they be giving people when they have a heart attack. I don't know. I just hope he didn't relapse because he was on Drink Champs and they had him drinking shots all night. You can see how healthy he looked. You know what I mean? You know he wasn't doing no drugs or none of that. Even if he needed help, he probably didn't want to ask because other people already got their own demons that they fighting. Some people might just be having a bad day, or somebody could be grieving over someone's death. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of triggers when you're an addict. Everybody got different triggers. It's for you to find out what it is. Yeah, and his lawyer said that they took him off of the breathing tube and everything and off of life support, and he started breathing on his own, but he still ain't out the woods yet. You know what I mean? So they're still concerned that he could, you know what I mean, still be in danger. And it's so crazy because it feels like we're in dark times. Look at the world, COVID-19, everything's in chaos. It doesn't even seem real that all this stuff is going on. It's like we're in biblical times. I don't know, I can't call it. But DMX been through so much shit in his life. He been beating all his trials and tribulations, been to prison for tax evasion, prison for drugs. He was all type of stuff. I'm not even going to talk about it on my channel. I don't even know why I even brought it up. But he's a good dude, you know what I mean? So nothing can bring him down. He always bounced back. And a lot of people probably wouldn't even be able to walk in his shoes and been through the things he been through. They'd have probably been hung it up. I'm done with this video until next time. But make sure y'all say a prayer for DMX and his family. And make sure if you like any part of the video to give it a thumbs up.